Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 51st episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything that's important to us, to you, the world, and nothing is off the table. In this episode, we're talking all about what it means to be an artist. Why? Because Khalil and I feel very different on this subject, and when we came to that conclusion, we knew that we had to bring the conversation to you, the WokeNFree Nation. But before we dive deep into this subject, we ask that you, one, subscribe to WokeNFree on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio. You can see all the different platforms we're a part of on WokeNFree.com. Second, please share this episode. Sharing is caring. This is a really fun episode that you can share with your friends, your family, with strangers. Share. Please feel free to always find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at WokeNFree. And then, of course, we'd love for you to review the show. If you want to share your thoughts on this episode, on a previous episode, again, you can go to WokeNFree.com to share your thoughts per platform, as well as give us a review on Facebook.
Each week, we like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the topic for the episode. Last week, we shared, if you had to choose a side in the Star Wars series, which side would you choose? This week, we are sharing, what is our favorite piece of art we ever created?
That's a hard one because as content creators, we're constantly creating art. I mean, I don't know if it fits the actual definition of art, but I consider my little promos, creatives, images, videos that I do. So to pick my favorite, I guess I would have to go old school, and I would have to say it would probably be this illustration I made of you and me, because you hate it vehemently so much that it really tickles my feather.
No. Not the one, it wasn't in a book, I hope.
Yes. That
Oh, no.
You, as you can tell, WokeNFree Nation, he...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Truly hated this illustration, so...
No.
Probably that one, but then a very close second to that would be this unique illustration that I made on a brown paper bag that you actually love so much that you said, "Hey, can I sell this?" And you sold it on eBay, which to me classified me officially as an artist because I made something that it actually sold to someone. But it wasn't a lot of money that we made, but nonetheless, it was still art. So there you go. But how about you?
And I also used that in a music montage I made too.
Oh, that's cool. See?
Yeah, I used that image.
Very cool.
Because it was definitely cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back in the day, I used to draw lots of different characters and animes, and one drawing I did was of Dragon Ball Z, and it was actually based off this T-shirt that I had of it, and I just kind of copied it, but I just did it all from looking at it. I didn't trace or anything, so I thought that was kind of cool, and it was pretty detailed. I usually don't do drawings that detailed, so that was my favorite piece of art, I would say.
Okay.
The Dragon Ball Z drawing with I think it was Goku and I don't know, some other characters, the other DBZ characters on there, but I think it was a pretty cool drawing. I never colored it in or anything, but it was just a nice sketch. It had some shading in it, but that's about it. That's my favorite one.
Okay.
I don't actually know where it is. I hope I scanned it in at least. Archive that thing.
Yes, living your best nerd life, absolutely.
No, I try to do that. I try to archive your drawings too.
Yes, especially the ones you hate. Yeah.
Well, that one. I mean, I don't know. That one went missing for some reason.
No, it not.
Did.
It's hidden in a box. You just don't want to know where it is.
No, it's not.
It is alive and well, believe me.
It can't. I don't know. That's a fiction.
Guys, WokeNFree Nation, he literally screams every time he sees it. It's really like
believe
one of
you.
the best moments of my
You
life.
can't have that stuff.
Yeah, because it upsets you so much, so it tickles my feather. It's
Wow.
awesome. But with that, I think we will get this party train started. And the first question on deck to answer is, what is the definition of an artist? Since you and me definitely are on different planets.
Maybe,
for
I
this.
guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of an artist, I think of somebody who creates things for joy, pleasure, or even pain. Mm-hmm. It's something that's really just for like leisure. They create some item that, people can enjoy. But it also could be combined with something practical. Art, sometimes it doesn't just stand on its own, but it could be something like a tote bag that has like the Venus statue on it. That becomes art. It's a functional piece of art.
Okay.
So art, I think the original idea is art is just kind of for enjoyment, but it could, it's kind of transcended that, and now we find art on practical things all the time. So artists create these whatever, and they can put that on things. That's one type of art, but I think artists can actually perform too. So like actors, actresses, that's another type of artist. So it's different mediums. Like the medium's kind of unlimited. It doesn't have to just be physical. It could be through singing. It could be through acting. It could be through other sorts of things. I mean, creating games, I guess, could kind of be an art, depending. You're just using a new form of technology to create art. So artist is kind of, to me it's a little bit more specific than like engineer, because engineers create things too, but you're not usually going to call it art. So artists are more for just, I think of leisurely things when I think of an artist.
So, WokeNFree Nation, you know the deal. You can find all articles that we'll refer to on WokeNFree.com. That's WokeNFree.com. So I'm going to share my thoughts on that. According to the Huffington Post article I found that is going to be on WokeNFree.com, an artist is someone who makes art. And this definition is also supported by the classic Merriam-Webster, which I also shared. You'll find the link on WokeNFree.com. But I strongly believe, and those definitions are in line with what you said. Yeah. However, I believe an artist is not just the creator of art, but also takes the art and shares it in some way or form. So whether it is with one person or whether it's with 1 billion people, I think a part of the art process is not just creation, but sharing. Why? Because it's that classic phrase, if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, did it really fall? Yes, the answer is always yes, but the problem is our world is very much like a touch, feel, see kind of situation. And so I just think, if you make 1 billion Picassos and the world never sees it, did you really live up to the term artist? Or were you ballsy enough and were you the person who not only created your masterpieces, but did the hard part, the second hard part of it, the journey, which is to actually share it and get feedback and to become famous or not become famous. The point is to create and share is how I would pair the definition of an artist. It's not just creation for me in my mind. It's always been creation and sharing.
But then I have a little mind warp for you. What happens if Pablo Picasso is dropped on a desert island? He's not an artist anymore, is he? Because he can't share his art that he creates on that island.
As long as he shared one time in his life.
Oh, you're saying because...
you have to share
once. All right,
once.
so we'll go back. We'll go back to... I haven't seen the movie, but you saw the movie Castaway. What about the man stuck on... I think it was Tom Hanks stuck on the island or whatever. What if he creates his first art in his lifetime and he's never able to share that?
But he put it on an island and it's visible for other people to see.
But nobody ever gets to see it because it's
as long as he's taken the action to have it be seen in some way or form. I constitute that.
What does that mean, to have it be seen? It's never going to be seen, so how is that constitute that?
Well, that's not necessarily true, because someone could potentially always come to the island. Someone could potentially fly by.
So that's the same thing for other people's art, too, then. When they create and don't share it as well.
No, you have to take some type of action. You can't just hide it in your closet. You have to post it. You have to put it on a sidewalk. You have to share it. You have to take some type of action to share it. But that's my
that's a little too specific. It's like if you're on an island and it's kind of just open and an alligator can pick it up, it's cool.
No, not an alligator. I mean,
but if you're at home and it's sitting Because some people have the art just sitting on their desk, and people could walk in, like the plumber could walk in.
Okay, yeah,
and
as
see
long
it.
as it's on your wall, but it can be seen by other people.
But if it's locked in a chest, hidden away in the basement, then now it's not art.
No, I don't see that as art. I just see that as like your private kind of doodle or daddle. And now some people might come for me and get very pissed off.
Because what are they called then?
I just think,
what is that? What's that act? That's just a hobby. I mean,
I guess, yeah.
But what are they called
when
doing that?
Art.
But not an artist, even though they created a masterpiece.
To me, because it's like, why we wouldn't have the world without Da Vinci, in a world without like Picasso. These people didn't just create it and hide it, like it was shared. And I think that is a part of the process. I think that it's devaluing them as artists to include everyone else who's not sharing it. That's what I just think. That if you have really great artists in this world who put their heart and soul in their art and shared it, and then you have other people who don't share it.
That's the difference between good artists and great artists, though. That's the thing. There's a difference.
You could do that.
They're not all the same.
You could.
An artist is an artist, but
to me, it seems like you're
not all the same
devaluing
caliber.
Da Vinci. You're devaluing these people.
A lot of people have driver's license, but we're not all on the racetrack. We're not F1 drivers. You know, it's like that. We all have license. We drive vehicles, but not the same way.
I just think as an artist, you owe it to yourself to do like it's like a 2-step process.
But maybe
Step
they're not
one
a professional
is
artist.
Creating. Maybe that's the classifying. It could be professional artist versus non-professional, but there has to be some type of distinguishing factor because people who take because sharing your art isn't easy because people can literally spit in your face and tell you you're garbage, and that's hard, right? When you're kind of sharing this vulnerable part of yourself. I just think that there has to be a signifier for people who take that step versus people who don't.
Maybe. Well, what are the common traits of an artist in your mind then?
Well, I came across this article on artanddesigninspiration.com, which you can find on WokeNFree.com. And they go through various categories or traits rather, that make up an artist. I'll say them and you guys can, mull it over. Head in the clouds, high expectations. They need personal space. They're meaning seekers, meaning they're looking for the meaning out of things. They're critical. They're not a fan of challenges. They're more unique or clever problem solvers. And they even purported to include this study that said that artists have structurally different brains compared with non-artists. That participants' brain scans reveal that artists had increased neural matter in areas relating to fine motor movements and visual imagery. But I argue, as someone who comes from a science, more logical background and lawyer by trade, that like probably I'm using the side of the brain that is in line with like organization and structure and da-da-da. But I also have always found that I've been a creative person. I've been creating art and poetry since I was a child. So one could argue everyone has an inner kind of artist-like abilities. It's just some people have a bigger depth at their skill set or are more willing to share and really take it to the next level.
All right, yeah, you covered definitely some traits that I agree that artists definitely have. I'd like to add that I think a big thing, and you see it in media all the time, is that artists seem to be very emotional. And you see that through...
They're stereotyping.
No, they seem... I don't know. All artists seem emotional. They don't seem like they're just, they're in touch with their emotions.
Science. Yeah, they're definitely,
whatever you want to call it. They're different. They're different thinkers than, like, an engineer. Definitely a lot. The mindset is completely different.
Well, the creative mindset is different.
The creative mindset and the process about how they go
about
completing things. Yeah, but I'm talking about your professional artists, not your people who dabble in art. Da Vinci. Yeah. Well, even Da Vinci's funny because he can be considered like an engineer too. He was an inventor. He built Picasso, stuff too. Guess, Picasso would be your classic artist though, who's like your straight up artist. And I think he had interesting like relationships and stuff. He had some drama in his life, but a lot of artists have that. And actors, I think, are the most emotional of the artist group. Dancers can be too, but actors are they're super emotional. I like to also add that most artists are passionate. That's why they do what they do. Like they love what they do, whatever that art or talent is, and they pursue it usually.
Yeah, absolutely.
And last thing is, I think that all artists, they're either skilled naturally or through like classical training.
Absolutely.
That's what it seems like. to the one or the other. But some artists are actually just naturally talented. They don't.
Absolutely.
They didn't see anything else. They're just able to just, I don't know, like create.
God-given gifts.
Yeah. Just built in, I guess.
What would you say makes, what do successful artists share in common?
So, well, kind of like before, I think, to be successful, an artist has to be passionate at least. They have to, you better be skilled at what you do. I mean, if you're not, then how are you, I don't know. I don't think you'll be really successful. And again, now this is where your professional artist comes into play. If you're not sharing your stuff, then I don't know how you're going to, like, you can't be successful if you hide your work. Like, that's, to me, it's impossible.
That's interesting. Because some people might argue, depends on how you define success.
Unless your success was like a release, you know, like people take the paintbrush and they touch the canvas and it's like, success. I got all that emotions out and I'm done. I'm going to lock this away. But I don't know, to me, that's not a successful artist. You just successfully handled your emotional outburst, whatever that is. But that's not a successful artist. And a successful artist is somebody, well, let's see.
It depends on how the person defines it. I mean, everyone has to define their own level of success. Yeah.
Is it through popularity or is it through financial gain? It depends on what you define it on. Yeah, I mean, because it could be popularity-wise or it could be financial or it could just be just somebody saying, wow, that was a good piece of work. You could just have one compliment, even just one could be enough. And to you, that's success. So it depends on their definition of success. But I think they do have to be successful artists, you do have to share, I would say, to be successful. Okay.
To add to that, since we're talking about, what makes a successful artist, ultimately, I would say it's going to be similar to what you said. It's someone who's doing what they love. They definitely, I agree with you, they're going to be passionate. Also, I would add to the passion piece, it's not just like, ooh, this is all about me, I'm so happy about what I'm doing, but I think what makes artists really special is that their passion then gets kind of translated into the ability to inspire and motivate us as people, the world, and I think that that's really cool and special and different, right? Because a thought leader, an educated, teacher, someone like that, they could maybe inspire you and educate you, but I think an artist is able to take their passion and kind of funnel it in a way where you say, hey, I might want to learn how to paint, or hey, I might want to learn how to knit, or hey, I might want to do this sculpture too, right? Like, so it kind of activates something in you. I think, well, that's what I would define as a successful artist. And then
saying that their art's so good that it makes you want to participate in it or something?
In it or your own thing, right? Like, it just funnels something to you. Like, I don't know, I find that when I find really cool art that I like, that it makes me want to doodle. It makes me want to, do something. More so than just like, even when you watch a really good movie, I don't always say, oh gosh, I gotta make my own movie, right? But I do feel like from certain art that I've seen, I'm like, I want to learn how to draw this, or ooh, I want to, I just had this, other creative idea. But it depends, but I think that success in art means your audience is going to take something away from it. I'll just generalize it in that way, because I think we're all going to take something different. Also, I think a successful artist is someone who doesn't shy away from the business of their art. Too many people, I think, are they're caught up with the idea of they just want to do what they love, and they don't care if it sells, or they don't care if it monetizes, how to monetize. I think that might be a mistake, and I think that the successful ones are able to embrace that, and or embrace people in their team who can build a team for them who can do that. Like, if you don't like the business of your art, then find a manager, find someone who can kind of hone that for you, because that's how you scale, right? That's how you make the bigger bucks. That's how you get the gallery showings. You grow by embracing the business of what you're doing. You're not just going to sit in your room and, have your cat look at you while you continue to paint. Like, that's not,
probably not.
Even if you're live streaming it, but like, you gotta think about the business of what you're doing, and then also be willing to learn something. I think the successful artists are people who aren't so just rigid in like, no, it only can be done this way. Like, they'll try new styles, they'll be bolder, they'll just live more in what they're doing.
Well, that reminds me of the late Steve Jobs quote, where he said, good artists copy, great artists steal. So, you've got to be influenced by other pieces of art
Definitely.
That really will elevate you as well. There's
Absolutely.
a reason why Apple is where they are. There's a reason. Let's be real with ourselves.
They're great thieves?
Not expecting that.
Those are your words, not mine, honey.
No, no, Apple, I'm joking. I am a PC girl, just letting you know. But,
All right.
no, go ahead.
But, all right, I had another point just to add to being successful artists. I think that it's important to, like, never quit, even when it looks like your work is continuously rejected and you've exhausted, like, all your options. Because this happens to, like, a lot of these artists. And I remember seeing... there was something on social media about Taylor Swift, like, being rejected, like, 50 times or something.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was a crazy amount of times.
Shout out to Taylor Swift.
She's going around to all these record companies, and then she came back to the same company, I think, like, a couple years later.
Wow.
And then they finally, like, signed her, but she had been rejected, like, 50
Fools.
times. It was crazy.
Fools.
Yeah.
Complete fools.
And now you see her, it's like,
Yeah.
man, those other places missed out on her.
Yeah, complete fools. Good for you.
And yeah, her latest album was dope.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
go ahead, Taylor.
I just listened to I listened to that
Taylor
new one.
Swift.
That was good. I don't like that original single that she came out with, but every other song on the album was good though.
I love that you're now in the Taylor Swift bandwagon. That's pretty amazing, actually.
Oh, I'm just saying this album was good. She's elevated her game.
You love
She's
Taylor
transcended
Swift.
that. She transcended that country twang.
Excuse you.
That country twang.
Do not insult any of the WokeNFree Nation who loves country. I love country. Ignore
I would
this
love to-
ignoramus
I would love to
person,
hear
guys.
any of our WokeNFree Nation members say they do like country. That'd just be interesting to hear.
I do. Exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
you're part of the WokeNFree Nation?
I would hope so since we started it. What kind of crazy crap are you talking about?
I'm just making sure you're playing for the right team.
What nation are you a part of?
I don't want you to get a safety or something. Come on.
OMG. Oh, gosh. What are the biggest challenges of being an artist, do you think?
The biggest challenges? Oh, of course, to me, the biggest one is getting people to pay for your art.
Oh, crap, yeah.
It really is. When you make your first piece and you
That's
try to
true.
have somebody buy it, let's see how long it takes before someone's gonna like shell out some cash for it. It's not easy. It's not.
I work with
the
artists,
first piece.
yes, I
Yeah,
know.
that's really tough. And then I also think it's hard to just like get a break, you know, where your art becomes elevated to the superstar status, like Denzel Washington, Tupac, or even the great Leonardo da Vinci. It's hard to get to that. Like, I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but if you are, I think that's a real big challenge as an artist to like really elevate and be above the rest.
I think I agree with you. I think the biggest challenge definitely comes down to just like making money off what you're doing.
Yes.
I definitely also think there's a lot of mindset issues. A lot of artists,
That's
I mean,
true.
you talked about earlier about them kind of really tapping into their emotions, and it's good to be in tune with your emotions, but guess what? Your emotions also betray you, and you can get, and they can, you know, kind of run wild and run amok, and then if you don't get control of them, then you're in a spin cycle you don't want to be in. And, you know, I think a lot of times when you do face rejection, when you do face resistance from family members, from close people who are telling you this doesn't work for you, sometimes you start to believe it. And I think that that really sucks because you've got to keep pushing forward. Like you said, you have to kind of be more resistant and challenge why someone says no, and find the yes where it is anywhere else, because every no means there's a yes somewhere else waiting for you guys. You just got to find it. But also I think like, you know, if you've listened to any of the content that Denzel Washington has put out, because he does do a lot of motivational speaking, you have to believe in yourself. I think that that's the biggest thing. You can't, like, Denzel wasn't Denzel in the beginning of his career, but he never doubted if he could be Denzel. And I think a lot of artists need to see themselves as their own version of whatever, right? Like, but that you are successful now, right? And your success already just continues to grow. But if you're waiting to be the most successful version of yourself, you might not get there because you don't believe in that like existence and that truth now. So
That's true. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about, there's a couple other artists like that too, like T.I. and Pitbull, where they were, before they were unknown, you know, people would reject them, but
Yeah.
they always had that air about them of
Yeah,
greatness. Like, they already saw themselves as
Absolutely.
great. They had like a swagger to them that
Absolutely.
nobody else really had. They had charisma, you know, they always had it. It was always
Absolutely.
there. Like, they were meant to be the superstar status that they are. So it's always there. You just gotta, you know, believe in yourself, and you gotta keep that
Absolutely.
mindset always. You gotta always know that you will get to your end goal. Like, it's within reach. Your dreams are there. You can achieve it.
Absolutely.
Now, why are you a fan of art, and do you have any favorite artists?
Okay. So yeah, I mean, when we're talking about, I was just thinking like traditional art when you asked that question. So thinking traditional art, definitely Leonardo da Vinci would be probably my favorite of the past, because I think what he did was incredible. Modern day art that I love, obviously the Faith Costa. She is a previous guest on WokeNFree, as well as one of many body positive artists that I love seeing what they're doing currently. And you can find, again, links all on WokeNFree.com. And if I think outside of this medium, definitely for music. Oh gosh, I mean, I love
Well, we
it's
can go
too
on
many.
for that.
Yeah, it's like it's
That could
way
be a whole episode.
too many. But definitely shout out to Taylor Swift. My all-time favorite would probably be like Maxwell, Toni Braxton, Janet Jackson, things like that. And then movies. Ooh, too much. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have to go into all that.
yeah, but my answer to answer
Stick
your
with
question would
traditional
be yes.
mediums.
I love art, and I love it because it shows to me the best of what humans are made of, and it shows to me just how incredibly beautiful our human mind is and what people can imagine. And it shows to me that the world is literally limitless, because even what we can't do in our physical lives doesn't mean we can't do it in film, doesn't mean we can't do it in art, right? And so it's a really cool way of celebrating humanity.
Yeah, and in terms of that, like, I think the Renaissance artists are really great, because all their art usually had like all these metaphors and hidden meanings, and there was a lot you could read into for the time. They really like elevated art at that point to levels that hadn't been seen before. So my favorite artists from that time are, of course, Da Vinci and Michelangelo. And I also have to give a shout out though to the unknown artist who created the Great Sphinx of, now I don't know, is it Giza, or I think it's Giza in Egypt.
Oh, I'm terrible with
Oh
pronunciation.
man, I don't know. I should have figured that one out.
Just call out Egypt.
But the
yeah.
Great Sphinx in Egypt, I don't know that city
I
name.
wish.
Maybe it's Giza.
I need to work on my pronunciations, because
Hopefully it is, but
I
that
be
doesn't
messing
sound
up
right
all
for
the
some
time.
reason. Giza does not sound, but all right, whatever. It's
Live your
in
life.
Egypt. It doesn't sound good. Either way, I love the Sphinx. I mean, I know people might say, "Oh, the pyramid's so great."
The one without
but
the nose? That thing?
Well, and that
Okay.
has its own history. That
Okay.
I don't want to say anything because I want to do my research and make sure it's correct, because I've heard all sorts of things about why that nose is missing. But let me do my research before telling you guys the wrong information.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. But I think, to me, I think that's like one of the greatest pieces of art forms that's created. Look how long it's been standing. I mean, it's
Well, the pyramids
so crazy.
themselves are like forms of art.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, those are
They're
classic. Though.
incredible,
Those are
yeah.
classic. But to me, the Sphinx is a little bit more,
It's cool.
because it's like a person
Very
and a
cool.
lion. I don't know. I like that, and I'm a Leo, so hey, the lion is cool.
Narcissistic.
No, you know you like lions too. Lions are cool. But current day, it's pretty hard to choose from like a favorite artist. It would be hard to say. I love anime though, so any of those anime artists, I think they're dope.
Yeah,
I love that style, and look how anime has influenced like American cartoons as well. So all these anime artists, they're making they made their waves already, and it's influenced cartoons to this day. So I don't know like specific names, but definitely those artists are cool.
Gotcha. Do you think we live in a world that celebrates artists?
I actually think so, but it's only for like certain industries. You know, traditional illustrators, painters, or sculptors, they're not going to be celebrated. Look, I can't even name any illustrator off the top of my head, and if you can,
Faith Costa.
you're probably. But she's more than an illustrator, though.
I know,
She's
yeah.
more than that. She does, and I'm talking about a straight up. This is all I do is
Yeah.
illustrate. Like that's.
Oh, Vachetti. I forget. I
See,
can't.
you're saying stuff to
I'm
me.
gonna mess up her name, but I'll put her in
pretty
the
funny.
links because she's dope as hell, and I got her book, and she's really cool.
When you think about it, there's no celebrity. Well,
She's,
you know what? There was.
yeah,
I
she's
forgot
famous.
that guy from not a couple of years ago, a long time ago.
there's
The
body
painter on
positive
TV.
Ones. Excuse me?
Remember that guy who used to paint on TV? And he said you can learn how to paint. I don't remember his
What
name
the hell
now.
are you talking about?
No, people will know. I'll look for it and we'll put a link up to what this show is.
No, I'm not gonna say.
No, it was a guy who used to. He's like, and now we will take the blue and
Oh,
splash it
that
on
white
there.
guy with the brown hair, the curly hair.
Yeah.
Not expecting that.
Yeah,
I thought that
very
was a-
specific details from
I'm
you.
sorry.
Yes, exactly. Very specific.
Excuse
The
my
guy,
ignorance.
Yeah, just the guy that you don't know exactly. I don't know his name and you don't know his name, but you know what
They
I'm talking
showed
about.
him on TV. I thought he
That's
was
the last
very
guy-
creepy. I'm
that's the
sorry.
last guy
I
I
didn't know what
remember.
the hell that was.
But I'm talking about him though. What that was. The creature from the Black Lagoon.
I
That's
know,
what he is.
But I was like,
He's
what's
like-
it? But it
I
looked
know,
like
so
it
you
was
heard
from
about
the
him.
80s. Or
I know,
something,
yeah, that's
and I
still not
was
even.
like,
It's not current day, yeah.
What?
That's the only guy. He was celebrated though. He was a celebrity. He was a celebrity.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anyone. I'm sorry.
You mean the gentleman with the brown hair is what you meant, of course.
Sure, whatever you want to go with.
The gentleman with the brown hair.
Si, senor.
That's what you meant. Ah, now we see.
Si, senor.
A mistake of the mouth. But let's see.
Ah,
Artists for today who are celebrated, I would say, like musician and actors. Because they make
Yeah.
up, like, all the celebrities are basically musicians and actors. And they're artists. So.
that are mainstream. There are famous artists who make buku money, but unless
Wait,
you're
wait.
in the art world,
There's
you don't
famous-
know- Yeah, they're famous artists. Like,
that are alive right now.
yes,
I've never
but
heard of
they-
that.
but
You know
but
why?
We're not in the art world.
But you know,
though.
I know you're saying buku money too. Most artists make most of their money after they're dead. Go look at Da Vinci's paintings now are worth a
I know,
lot
but
more
there
than when he was
are
alive.
artists who are making money. It's just we're not in that circle.
And remember-
and yeah, they're not like Denzel Washington status. But well, to us, see, that's the thing. Because
No, but
when you
you're
speak
saying
to
that, but
artists,
what-
they do
I
know
don't-
other artists.
Yeah, but-
like,
All right, we weren't talking about financials, but if we were going to get into financials, what is the general net worth of the most celebrated artist that's alive today?
WokeNFree
I don't
Nation,
know.
you answer that
See,
question.
that's
I don't
that.
know that question.
If you're going to talk financially, that's a whole other thing. But either way, there's no celebrity artist though. I mean, there's because then we'd all be able to list them. We'd all be able to list them.
I don't know about all that, but
You know, a
what I'm
celebrity
saying
is
is
known
that
by
this-
definition.
Yeah,
People
I know,
know who
but
they are.
the thing is, though, there are niche communities, and I think art is a bit more niche in that sense than just traditional artists like actors and stuff like that. So
You're saying
that's
that.
all I'm gonna say because you don't want to be out here telling people they're not famous.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're not famous. There's a difference between fame and there's a difference between like Beyonce,
Yeah.
where you're known everywhere. That's not fame.
Yes.
She's transcended that.
I don't know the Beyonces of the art world.
Nobody
But
does because Beyonce's Beyonce. There's nobody else like
But
her.
see,
She's transcended that.
I haven't
You know
looked
that-
into that.
No, you know
so,
that for sure
that's all I'm
because
saying.
I can go to almost any country on the planet and they've heard of Beyonce.
I
You
know.
can ask me right now one celebrity artist and I'm gonna look at you. I'll just look. We'll be staring
But
you down for a
obviously,
while.
that's not your thing.
No.
And
But Beyonce's not everybody's
stop
thing.
trying to tell people they're not anybody.
No,
right?
I'm not. I'm just saying they're not celebrities, and that's true. I mean, we should have that. What makes a celebrity now?
Oh,
We're all
Lord.
like this new tangent. What is really a celebrity?
See why we can't have this conversation? It's so heated and in so many different ways. I can't.
Because
with it.
you're like, you're a celebrity. You got like 100 fans. Yep, go ahead, celebrity. Party in your little
You're
town.
talking smack right now.
They're doing their little dance, like they're doing their art dance.
You're talking smack.
They're
right
art
now.
dancing on them. No, because
Silence,
you're saying
sir.
celebrity.
Silencio.
You're saying celebrity.
Silencio. So
funny.
I'm gonna say that no, I don't think this world traditionally celebrates all artists like you were saying, because there's some artists that are more celebrated and more famed than others. But generally, I still think we are in a culture where if a child goes to their parent and they're like, I want to be an artist, the mom and dad are more typically going to say, well, why not like a teacher or a professor or a doctor? And I just think that at least that's been my experience. Maybe things are changing, but I still am hearing stories of people saying that their art dream was kind of met with resistance. And I just think that that's a shame, and that people should just shut the hell up, because if someone wants to be an artist, they want to be an artist. I think we as people, the kindest thing you can do is be quiet if you have nothing nice to say. And I want you to quote me on that. And just be quiet. And stop telling people that they can't live their lives. Stop telling people they can't live their dreams. If you're afraid on how they're going to support them, then open up your goddamn wallet. And again, keep your mouth quiet and give them money. And if you don't want to do that, then help them figure out a way to fund their dream. But stop telling people they can't be who they are, because that makes you a crappy person. And you can quote me on that.
If you say so.
Yeah, I think it's sickening, because it's like, it's just heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Like, why are you breaking dreams out here? Like, that to me just seems sad. Like, people should be an artist. Like, if they want to be an artist, be an artist.
It's because in the parents' mind, being an artist is like a step down from wherever they came from.
Even though we live in a world where most people are now artists and content creators, and there's jobs that existed that didn't exist 10 years ago. Like, shut up. Like, you don't know.
Now it's
Stay
a different.
in your
Now it's
lane,
even a different
stay in
world.
your
So
lane.
a lot of people really
They don't
can't
understand.
understand it.
They don't you
It's
know,
like blowing
I'm a
their
digital
mind.
content creator.
Mind blown.
Yeah, they're like, what? Be
I don't know
quiet.
what that means,
If
yeah.
I'm paying my bills, why do you care? Like, just stay in your lane. Be quiet. The nicest thing you can do is be quiet. If you have nothing positive to say, silencio.
Now, if you could make a masterpiece, what would that masterpiece look like?
I really like that you asked that, because I think that for me, it would probably have to be something digital, because I'd want to be able for it to be shared and reshared and posted and talked about on all different platforms, whether it's a newspaper, a blog, a magazine, a social media. And it would probably have shifting images, and some of the images I would even want like 3D or 4D versions of that, if that's possible. And the point of the piece would make the audience question something about their reality. So whether it's about their race, or race generally, or color, or feminism, or gender. It would also even make you question how we treat each other in this world, because I think that no matter how far we go in our society of accomplishments, of milestones that we meet, I think that if we continue to hate each other because of how we look, if we continue to hate each other because of who we love, if we continue to hate each other because of how we pray and who we pray to, I think that we are not going to get very far, or we're going to not get as far as we could, because these are trivial things that should not be argued or used against each other, that people have to have freedom in their life. And if you don't know that about me, you can quote that on. You can quote that. I'm all about free love. I'm a hardcore liberal. And I would want to make something that would bring people to tears and make them really question all of that and everything beyond. But what would your art piece be?
That's interesting you brought that up, because there are actually there's a couple of companies and even like some, I guess, non-for-profit, organizations that have created some VR experiences where you can experience a different culture, or you can experience what it's like to be a different race or gender. Some people have been playing with the virtual reality medium and
So I could
kind of
be
created what
Becky?
you did. Yeah.
I could be Becky. That's nice.
Somebody had a music video where you could swap all the people in the video. So you could have Becky could be with Ronald could be with Regis. I mean, you could have whatever. You could actually swap it out any way you want, any gender, any race, any color. Like,
Would
it was
I
kind of
still
interesting.
Have my hot sauce in my bag?
Yeah, you could have the hot sauce in your bag swag. And then there was also, I just saw this. This is a good shout out time for Quality TV, because I was just watching this. I was watching this movie on the streaming channel. So if you don't know what it is, Quality TV is kind of like it's almost like the Black Netflix. So let's just call it that. Not to be crass, but yeah, that's sort of what it is. But they had this movie where you can kind of like switch what characters are on screen at the time, like what races. So they had a black man with a black woman, but you could switch it out for a white guy with a white woman, and they were doing the same parts, but the situation was different for each of them. I don't want to like spoil what it was about, but it was kind of an interesting take to see how the role is played by like a black person compared to like a white person. It was like there was an interesting dichotomy there, and I think it was cool. It was a nice little run that had, and that's kind of incorporated, your thing about showing race and different genders and how we interact with each other. That kind of just, I think it'd be an eye opener for a lot of people. So
definitely,
there are some stuff that exists now, and
cool.
I think it's only going to grow from now. This
so
is
you're
just
saying I'm unoriginal?
No, I'm saying that you could fit right in with the bunch. This is what people are doing. People are doing this stuff. They're doing these things. It's funny that you went digital because I actually went back to like the straight up. I don't know what century, but kind of the Renaissance time, where the creation of Adam by Michelangelo, where he had the painting on the Sistine Chapel. I'm calling it a painting, but I think it was a fresco
mural or
something. Yeah, there wasn't a painting, but either way, he had the creation of Adam. But what I would do is I'd do the same thing, but I have all the brown people, like the original people.
There's
that are on
an
the planet.
artist doing that currently. There's a black woman who's changing all that time period of art into like black women or something.
Well, all right, that's pretty extreme.
It's pretty
I guess
badass. She's a badass.
Yeah, I'd like to see some of that art.
That's actually surprising since you're all about Mr. Digital.
I know. I didn't even think. That never even came to mind. Like if I was gonna make a masterpiece, but I thought about it. It would be cool to have like a VR kind of work.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
I don't know, but I think. Yeah, you could actually do that. You can draw in VR, right? Or no?
No, I didn't know.
Oh
that.
yeah, you can draw and you can create like I haven't seen all this stuff, but you could do modeling and whatever, all in 3D space.
Gotcha.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Scenario 1. Day after day, month after month, year after year, Dürer has worked on his finest masterpiece to date. Actually, he has never shown any of his creations to anyone. Is Dürer really an artist, or what else would you call him?
Well, based on this conversation, you would call him a non-professional artist. Is your term of art.
Minor leagues.
I would say I would manifest myself as Durer's coach and make sure that he shared it on Instagram. And then he can call himself Dürer the artist.
Okay.
What's your answer?
I'd say, yeah, this guy's an artist because he's a genius with what he made. So I give him the artist title as long as his stuff was really cool. And I think he's been working on this thing for years and years. I
don't care how long.
I give him the credit.
Share the work.
Credit is given where credit is due because he put in that hard work. He put in the work. You just got to give him something. Give him some kind of credit.
Share it.
Maybe one day. Mm-hmm. Scenario 2. You're on your first date, and since you are a broke college student, you decide to visit the Met. No need to go Dutch there, right? They have a new piece here, which is a painting that is just entirely red. What comment can you make about this piece to impress your date? Or do you tell them it's not actually art and go on a long diatribe of what makes art art?
So that's an interesting question. I'm not sure if you're asking for dating advice or if we're somehow if we're becoming art critics in this question. So that's fascinating. We'll go on the date side because I love to talk about relationships. I would say to be a good date or to make a good impression on your date, probably having monologues instead of conversations is not a good look for you. You should try to have a conversation. So instead of you bombarding the person with your 10-minute spiel on what's happening in front of them, how about you begin the question by saying, what do you think about this art? And actually act interested in whoever you're next to. So that's one thing. Now, the other side of this is do you tell the person if this is art, not art? I think that art is subjective. It's, kind of like beauty. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you don't believe a red canvas is art, then you're welcome to share it. I don't think you have to be aggressive about it. I think you can just state your reasons civilly. I think that unless you're a connoisseur of art and you really understand history and you understand trends and you really in your bones know that this is not art, then hey, be willing to back that proposition up. But if the person got paid for this, if it's hanging in a gallery, it's bloody well art.
Even if it was simply made.
It doesn't matter. Sometimes the best things in this world are quite simple. So I know people try to come for things that are simple. Stay in your lane and chill out, man. Did you make it? Right. Read the book. We did the conversation, Create or Hate by Dan Norris. Stay in your lane. Unless you painted this canvas, silence is a very kind option.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Your answer?
Well, I'd just say, I don't get it. Say, I don't get it, and that'd be my final comment for it. That's
Truly riveting, yeah.
Yep, that'd be it.
Great date. Nice.
We'd move on from there. But hopefully find a better piece somewhere where I can actually have good comments to say.
Good thing you're married, yeah. I'll take you as you are, love.
All right, thank you.
Excellent, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Scenario 3. Abayomi is a genius when it comes to sketching. She has never taken an art class, but whenever you see her work, you ask who did it and how can you make it your wallpaper on your phone. Abayomi's parents believe she needs to focus on doing something that will support her financially in the future, like a nuclear engineer or a biology professor. Should you go against what Abayomi's parents wish and tell her to follow her true passion, or encourage her to do what is right and enter the almighty rat race?
Khalil, Abayomi?
Hey, don't make fun of people's names.
I'm not making fun of people's names.
Oh.
I'm trying to understand how you're creating scenarios that I can't even speak out. Like, wow.
You need to be cultured. Just like you were saying earlier, become cultured with yourself.
So you're trying
Learn
to
about
culture
other
my
people.
ass on a scenario. Okay, well, do you know the
You gotta
name?
learn.
Do you know the meaning of this Abayomi name?
No, but I know that she's probably an Egyptian woman.
Oh, okay.
Look, see how I know that? Look, see, isn't that cool? Look, Abayomi, this Egyptian lady's on
Watch
there.
it be like Cherokee Native American.
It could be.
And WokeNFree Nation's gonna catch you real lovely and be like, get your life. This means blue ant.
There's abundance of names in the world. Come on. I don't know. There's,
Yep.
there's lots of
and
names
apparently
in the
they're
world.
floating in your head. Excellente.
Come on now.
Okay. Again, I would never tell someone not to pursue their dreams. What I would say is I think if she's really gunning to be an artist and this is something she wants to do, I'm never the person to say, you can only do one thing, right? I have 27 jobs. I'm very Jamaican American. So what I would say to her is maybe she could consider, if she's going to do the art and, she feels like the teaching isn't something she would hate and she could do it and it could support her as she's pursuing her art career, then do both. And then when her art career takes off and she no longer needs to rely on the teaching, do that. Or if she can't handle that, then be a dog walker because they make excellent money most of the times. And walk your dogs and paint on the side. I mean,
Well, so what are you telling her then? Are you telling her just to follow her true passion, or are you telling her she needs to do something else while doing her passion?
I'm saying follow your true passion and figure out whatever side hustle and or venture you need to do to fund the passion. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying be passionate and be homeless. That's not what I'm recommending to
okay.
people. Jesus, please.
Come on.
You've got to find a way to make your money and be happy. It's not one or the other. That's what I'm trying to say. That dichotomy that people try to present to you of it's be passionate or hate your life. It doesn't come down to those two categories. I do like the black and white kind of thinking because sometimes people have too much gray going on.
Well, that makes it easier.
But in this category, especially when it comes to your career, because your career is a journey, not a destination, that means that there are multiple things that you can do on your journey that include passion projects and fund the dream activities that mesh together. So maybe she could be an art teacher or an art therapist. Art therapists, I think, make good money. That's actually combining both, right? Try to be innovative in the career choices so that they don't, suck the energy out of you and you can't be an artist. Because, yeah, maybe she becomes a professor and she'd rather smoke crack than, paint
talking
because
about
she's
fish?
so tired. Yeah, she's just this is bull.
Wow.
But
All right.
figure it out. Be innovative.
All right.
You agree?
That's a good one. Actually, I would just tell her to follow her passion and be broke and homeless at least.
Excellent.
I'd just say, go ahead and do it.
Live your best life on the street.
I would just tell her, live off your parents.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Catch them real nice because they wanted you to do this stuff that you hate. Catch them real nice.
Well, act like you have some sense inside.
That's what the parents get, telling you to do these random things. Like, what are you talking about?
And you want to be a parent.
No, you can't talk crazy to your kids, though. Come on now. Like, they obviously are out of touch with her just to choose some random careers for her. See, your suggestions made more sense, so I would just tell her, just do your passion and catch your parents lovely.
Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. That's amazing. Well,
yeah.
WokeNFree Nation, please provide your thoughts on these scenarios in the comment section on WokeNFree.com because that just was everything. I have a headache now. Like, I can't anymore. But we are at that time again. It's coming to the end of our 51st episode of WokeNFree. Disastrous.
This was not good.
That sounded like a hymn from hell.
At all. Hymns are very fun to sing, though. I'll tell you that.
Since you know so many.
Just grab the good book, open to the correct page, and let it all out.
I won't even say something, but you know what I'm
you
thinking.
You can't
too.
say nothing. Would you say that to Abayomi? Would you say that to her?
You're a hot mess. Sing a hymn right now. Sing one hymn right now.
Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy.
Are you talking about guacamole?
Holy guacamole.
That's like an actual name, I think.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Isn't that a name of a brand, guys? Is there such a thing as Holy
know.
Guacamole? I really thought that. Well, I couldn't have imagined that. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
Holy, holy, holy is a hymn.
That's how it begins. Oh, actually, that might be the name of the thing too. The name of the song is called that too. I think it is, yeah. And then I don't know if this counts, but lift every voice and sing. That's classic.
Is that
That's
part
classic.
of a hymn or a hymn?
I don't know if that's a hymn or not. I'm not sure, but that's a good song too. It's
Hot
it's like that's like the Black People Movement song or something.
This is crazy. This was quite the episode talking about artists and what it takes to be one. Pray for us, WokeNFree Nation. Will I leave you hanging for what our next episode is going to be all about?
On our next episode, we will be talking about how real is social media really? Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you would like to be a guest on the show, please submit a topic for an upcoming episode on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That is WokenFree.com. I get my messages. I got people sliding in my DM telling me how I could be on the show. Boom booms. WokenFree.com. Go on our Contact Us page, and we will respond and schedule things. We definitely have some interesting interviews lined up, so just get on the roster before we are booked for the end of the year, because before you know it, guys, we're going to be doing our own little hymns for Christmas, New Year's. I can't believe the end of the year's coming. All of that good stuff. And of course, always feel free, if you do want to hit us up on social media, you'll find us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, WokeNFree.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do. Share the episode, and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokeNFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokeNFree is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Till next time.